Hello everyone, welcome back to Clarity for Sure. This is Schemes in the News series where we have been discussing important schemes which have been in the news in recent months. So as usual, before starting the topic, we will go through a few questions. Now we have a paragraph based on which we will have 3 questions. In 2022, Ravi, a 22-year-old from a small village in Uttar Pradesh, was struggling to find a stable job after completing his high school education. With limited opportunities in his hometown, Ravi decided to enroll in a government-run skill development program aimed at empowering youth with industry-relevant skills. Under the initiative, Ravi underwent a 6-week training program in electrical maintenance which was aligned with the National Skills Qualification Framework. The training was conducted at a nearby skill hub established within a government industrial training institute, combining classroom learning with hands-on experience. So the question starts from here. Currently, the scheme is being implemented in its 4th phase. What is the period of implementation of the 4th phase? And the options are FY 2020 to 26, 21 to 26, 22 to 26, 22 to 27 and 22 to 28. Now, if you know the answer, you can comment in the comment section. Let us go to the second question. It is based on the same paragraph. After completion of the training program, Ravi was assessed and was awarded a certification based on his performance. Which among the following is responsible for recognizing the awarding bodies and assessment agencies for National Skills Qualification Framework aligned courses under the program? The options are National Skills Development Council, National Council of Vocational Education and Training, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Sector Skill Council or PM Kaushal Kendras. Again, if you know the answer, please comment in the comment section. And the last question is, another important component of the scheme is trying to meet the skilling needs of marginalized and vulnerable groups, difficult geographies by providing specialized, there should be and difficult geographies by providing specialized training courses. These specialized courses are carried out by special project implementation agencies, that is SPPIA. What is the maximum number of projects that an SPPIA can propose in a given financial year under the scheme? And the options are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now again, if you know the answer, please comment in the comment section. Now let us move to the topic of the day, that is Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. Now, this scheme was launched to give skill training to largely unemployed youth of the country in a structured way, short term. Okay? But this was launched way back in 2015. So what is the reason we are studying it today? It is because it has completed 10 years of its inception. And not just that, in February 2025, there was a news that Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana 4.0, Pradhan Mantri National Apprentice Promotion Scheme and Jan Shikshan Sansthan Scheme, they have been merged into a single umbrella program called Skill India program. So this will be a umbrella program under which all the 3 schemes will be running from Feb 25 onwards. Alright. So these are some of the basics. First of all, Ministry is Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. The launch was 2015 and currently its 4th version is running from 2022 to 26. Let us move forward. So this is a brief timeline of how it all happened. In 2014, Ministry of Skill Development was established to provide skill development in a structured format in our country, right? And then the very next year in 2015, it launched its flagship scheme, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana 1.0. It was just for 1 year and around 20 lakh candidates were trained in different forms of skillings. And next year, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana 2.0 was launched on a massive scale in 2016, and in the second phase, more than 1.1 crore candidates were trained. And then after 4 years, in 2020, Kaushal Vikas Yojana 3.0 came, where only 7.37 lakh candidates were trained, because we know that year COVID came. Alright. Then during 2021, during COVID, there was a crash course launched for COVID warriors under the same scheme. And then in 2022, Skill Hubs initiative was launched. See, in Kaushal Vikas Yojana, we are providing skill training. For training them, for providing a formal training, we require training centers. That means we have to create new infrastructure. new infrastructure. So, but what government did in Skill Hub, under Skill Hub initiative, it started utilizing the existing infrastructure of educational institutions like schools, colleges, etc. And in the same year, in 2022, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana 4.0 was launched. Now, we will move forward again. So, what is the objective of the scheme? It is to provide free, short duration skill training and incentivizing the youth for skill certification. So, we have to provide skill training, and after training, certify the candidates. Okay? And why is it significant? Because the median age of India is 28 years, and we all know that India is one of the youngest countries of the world currently, and hence it provides us with a huge demographic opportunity, and it is the correct time to make India the skill capital of the world, right? There are a lot of objectives are given under the scheme, like to make a comprehensive skill ecosystem which can provide demand-based skilling to the youth of the country. Also, the Yojana wants to be inclusive and to include each and every section of the society and each corner of the country. Alright? And also, it does not want to provide training just in letter but also in spirit, such that the employability can increase. Right? So, it wants a high placement ratio. High placement ratio after the training. All right. So now coming to the scheme, there are 3 types of training which are being provided under the scheme. The first one is short-term training. The second one is recognition of prior learning, and the third one is special projects. So let us look from the short-term training. Who is it targeting? Short-term training. Out of education candidates or students who are college dropouts or school dropouts, or the unemployed youth of India who wants fresh skills or reskilling, right? For them, during short-term training of around from 300 to 600 hours is being conducted, and under the training there is also a provision of on-the-job training, so that real-world experience can also be provided to the candidates. All right. But there are many who have some kind of skill from before also. For them, there is recognition of prior learning. So those candidates who have some prior learning experience or skill and are willing to get assessed and certified, they will be covered under recognition of prior learning. Okay. So if someone is looking for fresh skilling, there is a short-term training program, and for them who already have some skills and they want to get certified, they will come under recognition of prior learning. In recognition of prior learning also, the candidates must be given minimum 30 hours of some coursework, and which can be up to maximum 132 hours. These were the 2 things. But apart from them, there are a lot of candidates or people in our country who live very in marginal areas or are very vulnerable. For them, it is impossible to provide a structured training program in a formal way in a training center. So for those kind of people, for the marginalized and vulnerable groups who require special attention, we have special projects. All right. Now, what is the age group that are being targeted? For short-term training and special projects, the age group is 15 to 45 years, both of them. And for RPL, the age group is 18 to 59 years. All right. What is the eligibility? It is very simple. The person must be an Indian national and he must have a valid Aadhaar card, just that. And if in case he is enrolling for RPL, he must have prior experience in that field. Right. Now comes geographical coverage. It covers the whole of India, but special attention is given to aspirational districts, backward districts, border districts, tribal and left-wing extremism affected districts, and also it is covering the skill requirements of other countries also. So it is Kaushal Vikas Yojana is not just skilling India but also trying to go international. So this is a broad implementation framework of the scheme. The figure might not be very clear due to the large screen. but I will speak each of the terms, okay. But first let us see here. What are we trying to do? To provide skill training. Who is going to provide them? Training providers. For them, we will there we have a candidate whom we are going to provide skills via training. Who will provide them? Training providers. All right. After training, the candidates need to be assessed and awarded a certification. Who is going to certify him? Awarding and assessment agencies. Now the one who will be providing training will be different from the one who will be assessing the candidate and will be awarding the certificates. All right. So who are training the candidates? PM Kaushal Kendras, skill hubs that we saw earlier, the educational institutes or different industry partners, skill centers or private training providers. And who are these assessment and awarding agencies? They are Sector Skill Council, entities recognized by NCVET or State Educational Board. Now see, as we are going to train crores of people, so we need a vast pool of trainers also, and somebody needs to train those trainers. Who are going to train? The trainers also and the assessment and awarding agencies both. They are the trainer and assessor training agencies. They are National Skills Training Institutes, Center of Excellences, ITIs or other institutions like Tool Room, Technology Center, SDI, etc. Okay. And who is the implementing agency of Kaushal Vikas Yojana? It is National Skills Development Corporation, NSDC. All right. And the regulatory framework of the whole Yojana will be provided by National Council of Vocational Education and Training, NCVET. NCVET will also be recognizing those bodies who are going to assess and certify the candidates, right? So here we saw assessment and awarding bodies will be Sector Skills Council and other entities which were recognized by NCVET. And the overall policy framework of the scheme will be given by Ministry of Skill Development. All right. So this was the implementation framework. Now let us go forward. See, for short-term training and giving short-term training, we had Kaushal Kendras, skill hubs, etc. But for those who are going to enroll in recognition of prior learning, the implementation of RPL will be done by project implementation agencies, which will be called RPL PIA. Now these bodies can be government organizations or some assessment agencies which are notified by NCVT again. But one important thing here is that no third party recruitment agency can be permitted to implement RPL program. So there are many third party recruitment agencies in the country who recruit candidates for jobs in different companies. Now, if they started to certify the candidates, it will be a conflict of interest. So, no third party recruitment agencies will be permitted to implement this. All right. Not just RPL, but also for special projects, we have project implementation agencies. So, there is an eligibility criteria also as to who can be these project implementation agencies. For RPL, the agency must be incorporated for at least 3 years with an experience in the relevant field for 1 year. All right. And its annual turnover for the last 3 financial year should be minimum 25% of the project cost. So, if an agency is proposing a project for RPL, it is proposing a project for recognition of prior learning. The annual turnover of and let's say the project cost is of 100 crores. So its annual turnover of last 3 financial year must be minimum 25 crores. All right. And NAPIA can propose only 2 projects per financial year. Let's say it proposes 2 projects and one of them gets rejected. It cannot, even if it gets rejected, it cannot propose a third project. Only maximum of 2 projects can be proposed by a PIA, alright, and it should have positive net worth for the last 2 consecutive financial years. And these eligibility criteria is the same for for special project implementation agencies also same. But again, if an NGO is implementing the special projects, it should be registered on Darpan portal of Niti Aayog. All right. What is the mode of training of the under Kaushal Vikas Yojana? It is mostly physical mode. Okay. So now the question might be a tricky if it comes from this topic, this area, because common sense is that most of the things we are doing today is online. So if question says there is a provision of 100% online training under PM Kaushal Vikas Yojana, we might be sucked into saying, marking it correct, but it is false, because there is a time gap, there is a time limit or capping as to how much online training can be provided under a specific training. Okay, the training must be mostly in physical mode. Also, for assessment, if a candidate wants to be assessed, for assessment, minimum attendance during the training should be 70%. Okay. Now this is the cost of training for per candidate. It is not important in my point of view, but you can have a look for short-term training courses of 300 hours, short-term training courses of 450 hours. The whole chart is given. You can have a look on it, right? And anybody who wanted can take a screenshot. So this was all from the scheme. But as we see that as we are seeing that most of these schemes, the popular schemes like Kaushal Vikas Yojana or Mudra Yojana, they are completing 10 years or decade of being implemented. So there is a chance that descriptive question can come also and for asking to analyze the scheme. So there are some data regarding the scheme. Around 1.6 crore people have been skilled under PM Kaushal Vikas Yojana till now, right? And it is under KVY 4.0, industry relevant courses like artificial intelligence, robotics, Internet of Things, those kinds of courses have also been included under the 4th version. All right. Also, till PMKVY 3.0, the placement rate has been 42.8%. So we can infer here that there is a scope of improvement of placement rates. All right, and the scheme has been pretty much successful in including women, as women candidates has been around 45%. Right. And there are some initiatives you can just mention as example or initiatives that have been taken under the scheme, like it has trained around 2500 Bru tribe candidates in Tripura, and it has also trained more than 2200 women in Namda craft in Jammu and Kashmir. All right. So it was all from the scheme. Now we will move back to the questions which we asked at the start of the session. The 4th phase, that is 4.0, it is being implemented from 2022 to 26. All right. The next question was, who was responsible for recognizing the awarding bodies and assessment agencies? It is not NSDC, it is National Council of Vocational Education and Training, NCVET, which is also providing the regulatory framework under the scheme. And the last question was the scheme and what is the maximum number of projects that a special project implementation agency can propose? So the answer was 2. So this was all from this session. I hope you learned something out of it. Thank you.